Hey, I want to tell you about God. And I have been through a big journey and I'm still through it, and it's super fucking hard to do this thing. But I think I have some input that could help you bring the love of God in your life. And I know if that sounds lame, it's gonna make a lot more sense in a few seconds. My whole life I thought there's something wrong about how people saw love for God, and I realized couple of years ago that love for God isn't out of fear, because people say you should be afraid to go to hell and to heaven. I always say I don't care where I go. I don't care if I go to hell, and I don't care if I go to heaven. I just want God to know that I'm grateful for what He gave me. And for a very long period of my life, especially through my childhood, I used to be going through some really big hardships. Like my kindergarten was literally hell. We had this teacher that would literally beat the fuck out of us with the whatever it is. I won't go into detail. But then in school it was horrible. I had to survive life with people with other kids which were bigger than me, and they had knives on them, and they would kind of threaten you every single day. I remember I was held to knife point so many fucking times. I remember one time I almost got cut. I go home and my mom is like, "What's that cut on your jacket?" And I realized those fuckers actually tried to stab me. So I just lied to my mom and told that I accidentally tripped over and a branch from a tree ripped my jacket. So for a long time in my life, I was like, God, why did I have to go through all that bullshit? I'm not I'm not gonna respond my phone. Sorry for that. Sorry for that. It was my mom, but mom, if you're listening, don't be mad at me. I'll call you later, okay? But the thing is, I had so much bullshit in my life that at some point I really hated God, and I was like, why do I have to go through this? And I knew that other people have to go through stuff like this. It's completely fine. But then at some point I realized that, for example, this one time in my life I got in a fight because I was so done being a fucking slave, and I fought back. And I remember I fought back with this other guy, and he was. It ended badly. I lost the fight, and I fell with my face. It was winter, right? So there was a big stone covered by snow, and no one knew it was there, and I fell literally with my face in it. It kind of fucked my teeth, and I always thought to myself, God, look what you did to me. Look at my teeth being so fucked up. But then I realized, if that thing was a couple millimeters above, that would hit my eye. If that would have been a couple more millimeters, I would have been dead. So maybe God really saved my life that day, and I didn't even realize. And that was the moment when I realized God saved my life so many times. I was rushed into the ER department because I ate poisonous mushrooms because my grandma gave them to me. They're like, okay, they're good. They weren't good. I almost fucking died. The doctor told me that I would have died if I showed up 1 hour later. And there's so many other things in my life where I literally was a millimeter away from death. Like that one time where I was with my friend Julian, and we were passing the road and we looked left and right, but the car just came out of nowhere. And it literally passed me by a centimeter. It actually hit him on the hand, and I remember how bad I felt when because he hit it, but I knew it was hurting him, and I kind of felt at fault because I was the one that tried to hurry to pass the road. But the point is, I could have died that day. He could have died that day, and I would have lived with them. I'm just realizing this now. My friend could have died that day, and I would have to live with the thought that I was the one hurrying to pass the street and he died because of me. And how completely that would fuck up my mind. And besides that, God also gave me cool things in life, like things that had almost no chance of them happening. Like the chance of those happening were completely irrelevant, like impossible. I remember I accidentally made this one girl one time, and the chances of us two meeting were literally impossible. Now, it was a couple of good years together, and I'm glad I met her. I don't regret anything. It didn't really end up into anything in the end, but I wouldn't have those experiences if those impossible odds didn't meet. And honestly, I thank God for all those things that happened in my life, and I realized that actually I owe a lot to Him. And I want to show gratitude to him. I told myself this sentence. Let me see if I remember it word by word. I said at some point that I'm going to do a sacrifice for God with my own life. That it is not in order to win anything. It's not in order to gain anything in life. But it's rather to make it mean something whenever I say that I love him. And I think a lot more people could be using that information whenever they realize that God doesn't want them to be afraid of his judgment. I think what God wants of us is just to say thank you. That's all. Just, you know what, God, if I feel happy about something and I have a feeling you had your hand in it, I'm just going to say, you know what, thanks, man. Thank you. Like, so my journey with God pretty much started a long time ago. I was really conflicted about him. I hated him a long time. I have read things in the Bible that I didn't understand. Like, for example, even today, I have things that I don't understand, like the last plague of Egypt. I don't know why kids needed to die in the Egyptian kids. I don't understand that. But I'll keep researching, I guess. I'm not saying that I agree with God 100%, but I do say that I love him. And I do say that I'm going to take that leap of faith and believe in him that he's real and that he has a plan for all of us. Because I realize it's so much better this way. I have the Bible right here in front of me. Even though my religion, I'm an Orthodox, this Bible is a Catholic Bible, is the King James Version. I really like the way they talk English in this. It's like Elizabethan English, or other people call it Shakespearean. I really like the feel to that. And, you know, it's an important book for me. I'm doing this journey right now. I call it the 40-day journey. And I started thinking I'll do this sacrifice for God for 40 days. I won't have any kind of dopamine. And something weird happened. Like, you would not believe this. It was very strange, and it actually made me think that God is real. So it all started on 17th of April, and I prayed during that day. I prayed like I'd never prayed before. It was a certain feeling. It was not surrender. It was not sadness. It was more like I had my life kind of held together by certain things that I would be doing, but it wasn't structured the way I wanted to. It didn't really fit well into one neat place, and I wanted it to be that way. And at the same time in my life at the moment, because right now it's 30 of April, so 17th of April wasn't really that far back. Sorry for my chair. It's just what I was saying. My life, like at my current job, things are getting bad. There are big layoffs, and I might get laid off too in a week or so. And then there are other things happening, like whatever, relationship-wise, really didn't go that well in the last few months. I met someone, but apparently she just wanted me for my money and my house. And to be honest, I don't really have money. I don't fucking know why people have this, like, they see my job and they think I'm rich, but dude, I barely can pay rent. I need my mom to cook for me on the weekends so I can afford to pay rent, because I literally can't buy food. It's bad. But people, you have that kind of job, that means you're rich. No, I'm not. I can barely get by. And it's like, whatever. I guess if I find someone that's gonna be okay with my broke ass, I know I found the one, baby. Hell yeah. Either way, so I started this journey, and I had a full week of no dopamine, but then I failed. I had certain rules. It was literally anything that would give me dopamine, I would not do it. So my current problems were, I had an addiction to gaming, because that was pretty much the only thing that I would do whenever I came home from work. Work is very stressful, and especially as of late with layoffs happening, when I get home, I want to work on my personal projects, but I can't. because I'm so stressed that I feel like I need to unwind. And this unwinding just kind of ends up being this pause button. It doesn't really solve the problem. It just pushes them back, and I didn't like that. And I recognized that pattern, and I wanted it to change. So this 40 days journey I'm doing with God isn't just about pleasing God. It's also about getting my life in order. I've been having a schedule that I want to be doing for a long time. Going to sleep at 9 p.m. and waking up at 5, and wanting to train, and then doing other things afterwards in the morning before I left for work. And then when I come back home, I just, I wind a bit by reading the Bible perhaps, and then go to sleep immediately. So I'll be to sleep by 9. And, that makes sense to me. Like, I like schedules. Like when my life, and I respect the schedule for a week, and it felt amazing. But then a weekend came, and in a weekend I failed, and it broke me in a way. I thought I'm not able to do this. I told myself I'm so stupid enough to set unrealistic expectations for me. Like I always do that shit in life. I have this thing where, like, if things get harder, I make it harder just to prove myself that I can do it. It's a weird thing. I don't know. I'm weird as fuck, but I don't know, maybe it's because my childhood, I kind of learned that survival mode is the only way to do those things. So I kind of inflicted the survival mode in my life in order to feel safe and familiar. I don't know what my brain is thinking. I never gone to a psychologist, and I don't think I ever will, because they're gonna think I'm batshit crazy whenever I tell them I'm doing a 40-day journey so I can meet God. Like, what the fuck is that even? Whatever. The thing is, I realized a big thing about myself, and it was hard to admit it, but I kind of knew it. I'm very bad with long-term promises. There you go, I just fucking said it. I'm horrible. I can't keep promises. I always go back on them. So then I realized, well, I wanted to do this 40-day for God, so He can see my gratitude. I'm not doing this for any reward. I'm not doing this for bragging rights or to make this video. I'm just doing it because I want God, to know that whenever I tell Him that I love Him, and maybe this sounds silly to you, but it really means a lot to me. I really mean it when I say it, and I want Him to know that, and this is my way of proving it. But there you go. I was doing week 1 done, but I've actually done 8 days, 8 days of being good, and the 9th day I broke. The 9th day one of my rules, which was one of the hardest rules to keep, I broke it, and it felt so fucking miserable. I said, you know what, this 40 days thing isn't for me. What was I thinking? I'm not Jesus. I'm just a human being, and I'm a sinner like everybody else, right? It's completely fine. And my brain started making those excuses. No, dude, I fucking failed in that. You know what? I needed to learn something from it, but I didn't know what to learn. Well, skip another week later, a full week of literally losing every day almost, and trying to keep as much as I can, but sometimes just completely failing. And I figured something out about myself. I might be horrible at keeping long-term promises, but what I'm actually incredibly good at is doing short-term promises, which are extremely hard to keep. So if you have something that's low effort long-term, I completely fail that thing. I fumble. If it's something super hard, like extremely hard but short-term, I can actually push through that. And I realized I was doing this 40 days thing wrong. Maybe for you it's different. Maybe you're not like me. Maybe you actually can do the 40-day. And I encourage you to try, because you're gonna figure out multiple things about yourself. What I figured out is that I'm not gonna go in and say, God, this whole week I won't have dopamine. No, I'll say I'm gonna live my life normally. I'm gonna be ordering unhealthy food. I'm gonna be doing all the bad stuff. But at some point in this day, like this week, I'll predict that the next day something stressful will happen, like today, and I'll tell you more about what happened today. Something huge happened today, and I choose to sacrifice this day to God. And I would identify in advance days which would be incredibly hard for me, days which I will be screaming for dopamine, days that I won't have fun. And those days I'll tell God, God, that day I will sacrifice it to you and I won't have fun, because I realize I cannot do quantity, but I can do quality. So if I can do 40 days of sacrifice, I'd rather do those sacrifices whenever things get really fucking hard and I want to do it. I want to, I want to have fun. I want to order food. I want to eat unhealthy. I want to play video games. I want to watch series. Like, you have no idea how fucking I feel right now. Like, I'm almost shaking. I'm not shaking. Like, don't imagine a lunatic. Maybe I'm a lunatic, but I'm not that crazy. Okay, well, trust the crazy person saying he's not crazy, okay? Oh, alright, so the thing is, today I had an interview. Do you know how I got this fucking interview? Remember when I said that I was about to tell you some things that you didn't believe? On the day I haven't had an interview in 3 years. On the day I prayed, it was Friday. I just came home from work. It was Friday, April 17th. I prayed so fucking hard that day. I've never felt that feeling before. I was like breaking myself into pieces so God can put me together. That's the only feeling that I can describe to you. On 18th, I got a message on LinkedIn from an HR guy to show up for an interview. No one in 3 years have ever reached out to me. And it's a fucking coincidence. I get it. It's just a coincidence. It's fine. But skip a few more days. On Monday, when I arrive at work. Now, my current workplace, the only thing that kind of kept me there still was my coach. My guy that I respect so much. He's such a good guy. I have huge respect for him, for the things he taught me. I was there just because of him. The whole workplace is a fucking shithole. And I don't give a fuck about saying that. It is a shithole. Everyone doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. My coach was the only one that kept things together, man. The only one. So he was the reason why I kept staying at this company. He was the only thing that kept me there. And guess what the fuck? Monday, I go to work and I realize he just literally resigned. He resigned. So in the weekend, just after praying, God was like, you know what, here you go. There is an opportunity, this guy reaching out. And now the only thing that kept me from moving on just disappeared. So I was kind of forced to go on. So my God was like, you know what, you said you wanted this. Come on, go ahead, buddy. Go ahead. And then we have the interview, right? And my salary range was a certain range. I was kind of worried I'll shoot a bit too high. And you know those moments in life where God feels like, you know what, don't worry about it. It's taken care of. This guy tells me their salary range, because I ask, well, what's the salary range for this? And he goes like 20% higher than what I expected. And I was like, whoa, that's great. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? I haven't got the job yet. But like, there are so many things that I worried about. And God was just like, you know what? Don't worry about it. You have more important stuff to focus. Just focus on what matters. And oh my God, maybe it's just coincidence. I understand. I'm not crazy. I'm not going to say, okay, God definitely exists and I need to force you to believe in him. But the things that happened to me and the way they happened, I have no other explanation to them rather than God actually existing. To myself, I proved that God is real. Now you have your own way to proving that, if you ever even want to do that. Maybe just listening to me because you think my accent is funny or something. I don't know. It's your own journey and your own thing. But this is my journey, and I'm telling you that for me, man, God is real. And today I had a big interview, because that was the preliminary, when they figure out whether you're a normal sane person or you're crazy. And I passed, of course. And today was the big one with the big guts moment. And I went in for the first time ever. I said, you know what, I'm just going to be myself. And I know this doesn't work in most interviews. It doesn't. Don't be yourself in interviews. Most likely, 99% of you listening right now, do not be yourself in interviews. But I mean, my kind of field, I don't really give a fuck about who I am. I just say whatever I want, and if I'm good enough at what I'm doing, it doesn't really matter. But I realize whenever I'm under stress, I perform a lot worse, a lot worse. So just being myself, it frees a lot of that stress, and I'm able to perform better. Even though I'm not that formal when I'm myself, I'm more like, I'm talking with you right now. That's why I talked to the interview. I just been myself, and it was the first time I ever was myself during an interview, and it felt great. It felt I'm actually doing something right. And I met the energy of the other guy on the interview, which was an amazing high. And the other guy was really not interested in me. He kind of looked at his phone the whole time, and at some point he turned off the camera. I didn't really give a shit, but doesn't matter. The other guy, man, the other guy made it worth it. We're like, we were so nerding out about things there, like, man. And here's the thing. Even if this doesn't go anywhere and I don't get this, and some people might say, well, God failed me because God gave me a hope and then he took it away. Because maybe I failed the 40 days, right? And he actually wanted me to do the long run thing and I didn't. Well, I don't care. This whole sacrifices thing I'm doing for God is because I love him and I want to prove to him that I love him. And I'm doing this video for you to show you that you don't have to listen to those stupid fucking priests out there, to all those churches that tell you that you have to donate money, whatever the fuck. God doesn't need that from you. God just wants you to say thank you for the things that you want to thank him from. If you hate him for certain things, also tell him that. On the time of Jesus, priests were his number one enemy. Priests didn't want Jesus there because they had their own games, and Jesus really threw all that into the wind. If you remember the story about the money counters, they made the temple of God a marketplace. That's blasphemy. And Jesus was there. He was angry because it was a very big holiday. Just imagine, in the middle of a church, people start selling furs of animals and chickens during Easter. Like, how would that feel? In the middle, not outside the temple gates, no, inside of your church. During the sermons. How about you give me that chicken for €5? Sure thing. How about 2 chickens? Like, just imagine. Fucking hilarious. Yeah. So, we have more in common with what happened on the time of Jesus than we think. The church is corrupt, and it's up to us to understand God, to ask those questions, to not be afraid of. Like, you're not supposed to be a good person because you're afraid to go to hell, because then you don't accomplish anything. You just live in fear. You haven't really learned anything. Whenever they say be afraid of God, they don't mean real fear. It's that kind of fear that, no, maybe some of you didn't have parents, and I'm sorry, I don't know how to relate to you. Maybe think about someone that's really important to you, that you loved a lot. Think of that person. But for those that do have parents, think of you disappointing a parent. And you have that fear in you that, man, it feels bad whenever your mother cries or stuff like that, and you want to keep them happy, is that you love your parents. And I hope you do. I hope everything is fine with your parents. But if it's not, maybe think about someone else that you care a lot about. Maybe your girlfriend, maybe your boyfriend, maybe your kid if you have kids. Just think of them crying, and also think of them smiling, that kind of smile from ear to ear, where you can't really fit the smile on your face because they're smiling so wide. Oh, I remember that smile someone once did, and it was all because of me, and I felt so happy. Well, that's what I want for God. I want God to smile for me. I want him to be happy. I want him to be proud. I want him to look at me. I don't particularly want him to help me. He helped me a lot, and I don't need more help. There are more people in this life that need help more than I do. People are starving to death. I'm okay. I might be in a lot of stress, but I'm okay. I'll figure this out. I survived up this point, What can happen? I'll survive the next, it's fine. It's just that today I chose to sacrifice to God. I just finished this interview, which was the most egregious, it was fine. I liked it. I liked the interview, but for me internally, I'm a very introverted kind of person too. So for me, this was a death, like Jesus Christ, man. Oh, I just blasphemed. Sorry. It's just like it took the energy out of me. And right now, every cell of my body was like, come on, order food, buy a hamburger, buy a pizza, come on, eat, get some Pepsi, get some Coca-Cola. Oh my God, just have fun, my brother, just have fun. Play a video game, come on, get a small video game, just one round or one episode. Come on, it can't be that bad. Every fiber of my body wants to be doing it. And honestly, it'd be fine. It'd be completely fine if I were to do it. It's not like it's something not normal. You've had stress, you need to unwind, right? It's completely fine. Completely fine. But because this is one of those moments where I it's very hard for me not to do those things, that is exactly the reason why I keep this day a dopamine free day. And I offer this sacrifice to God, like people in the past who sacrifice animals and things that would perhaps impoverish their position and maybe bring them to sort of starvation, because animals back then were, they are your food stores. You sacrifice one to God and pretty much you're one animal off. Like, you got to be careful with that thing. And I know I'm not gonna starve to death. I have food in my fridge. I live in a first world country. I'm good. Okay, I'm, for all intents and purposes, maybe things in my country aren't looking going to that good of a direction. Maybe taxes are high. Maybe inflation is crazy. Maybe politics just brainwashed everybody's mind to hate each other and whatever. But you know what? I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm fine. I don't need really anything right now to live. Sure, I could need some things to be happy, but I was watching this other YouTuber from Canada. She was struggling with mental issues and she was homeless at the same time. And I was like, brother, I think I have it hard. Like, look at this lady. And she's living in a homeless shelter as a lady. Do you understand how hard it is? Like having people ODing next to you. Like if you ever were in that circumstance, Jesus Christ, man, I feel so sorry for you. You're a damn champion. And I saw her, how she finally got a house through a Canadian wealth system or something like that. Like, I feel a lot connected to her story because I know we're not the same at all, but I kind of see myself a bit in her story. The thing is, I realized that in life, it's been only what was this, 13th of April? So I think tomorrow, so it started on 17th, right? So it's 13 days. Yeah, tomorrow is the second week completed of this journey. And I'm gonna do 14 total. So it's a long time until 26th of May. But look how much I learned about myself doing this 40-day journey. And I haven't really gone out of my way to do too much of a crazy thing. I kind of accepted that some days I'm just going to be myself and that's fine. But whenever I identify those moments where I can really do some big sacrifice, I will do it. And look where it brought me. I just realized that I'm unable to keep long-term promises, and I'm actually instead very good at keeping extremely hard but short-term promises. I've learned so much about myself. I learned about my worth. I learned about how I can interact with people better. I learned about God. I learned how to be happy with myself. I've gone through, I don't know, trauma from my past perhaps, and I thought about it and I worked it out and I put it in words, right? And all that without a therapist. That's something here. And I'm holding the Bible right now in my hand, but you can really see it. But this book, Jesus, man, this book has something in it. And it's just this book, it's just the idea that it unlocks in you, that you're able to never be alone, that you can always have somebody there, and that it's okay to ask for help. Is that okay to say to God, God, I need your help right now. Please give me strength. And I'm just gonna say one last thing, and it's my favorite prayer. If you want to listen to it, it's called Anima Christi. And it's this wonderful prayer where you kind of invoke the soul, the body, the blood, and the water at the side of Christ to be with you. So everything that Christ have been through, like his pain, his happiness, his everything that he's been through as a human being, just like we are, you kind of tell him to, be with me, because I really need you. And I really like that. It's in Latin. I do not understand all the lyrics yet, but I will. I am able to sing it, but I'm unable to Well, I don't have that great of a voice, but I'm unable to listen to all the words because I don't understand all of them. So I'll be that's my next thing. I want to learn this thing to know all of it. But it's been already a long video, I guess, but it's been quite a lot to unwind. Maybe, just maybe, I'll make another video, and I won't promise because it's a long-term promise, and you know how that goes. But maybe I'll make a part two of this whenever I finish, or if I don't know, a few weeks pass or something like that. Because I feel like we as a society could really learn from loving God, even if we don't believe in Him. There might be some lessons we can learn from here without forcing anything on anybody. Like, you don't want to be Christian, that's fine. No one's gonna force that on you. At least they shouldn't. But yeah, this Bible, it has so many secrets that I want to uncover, and I'll tell you all about it. Well, that was me, I guess. Thank you for listening, and God be with you, I guess. See you around. Take care.